Welcome back to Sunday Coffee and Conversation on the SOS Show Live with Mary Evans and my co-host.
Marsha Easley, good morning.
Today, our show is all about inspirational. We love bringing shows that can educate, but we also have to get that inspiration in there. Marsha is very important. But before we start, first of all, I want to thank our sponsor for the Sunday show, Marsha, which is the Pontiac Meals on Wheels. We serve meals to homebound seniors in the Pontiac and surrounding areas. If you are 60 years old and you know someone that can benefit from the home delivered meals and they are homebound, you could call 248 738-9393, 248-738-9393. And that is the number for seniors that are homebound, but they must be at least 60 years old, okay? At least 60 years old. Again, Pontiac Meals on Wheels, thank you for supporting the show. Before we get into this inspirational show, we're going to play a song by Word of Praise.
We came to lift up the name of our Savior. We came to lift up the name of our God because He's worthy of our worship. He's worthy of our praise. If you love Him, come on and stand to your feet. Or while you're driving your car, help us sing it. Come on, word of praise. When I sing how it set me free. I am there. Praise Him. The Holy Ghost down inside. It's making me feel all right. Say it again.
Hello, I love that. Rest in peace. That piece was by Chris Jones. He has some amazing music on YouTube. Please check him out. And thank you so much for tuning in. So, Marsha, let's just have that conversation, that inspirational conversation. What's been going on with you this week, and what can you tell us to uplift us this morning?
Oh, you know what, Mary? It's always good when you can wake up and see the next day because, every day is not promised. So I'm just happy to be alive. I'm happy to be here. God is good. The sun is shining. Oh, my God, it's a beautiful day today.
Yes, I love it. Marsha, I want to read a piece to you, and I want to talk about in our life, Marsha, a lot of times we judge ourselves by the success, meaning how much money do we have? How big is our house? What kind of car are we driving? And I want to tell somebody out there that's listening, measure is not always, a success is not always measured by those things. To be quite honest with you, Marsha, I believe the biggest success in the world is how many lives can you touch to help someone else better their lives or help this world be a better place. Social media has a lot of us so depressed, a lot of us feeling like we're not worthy or we have not reached successful moments in our life because we see all of these people in these fancy cars, fancy houses, name brand clothing. But guess what, Marsha? I found out that a lot of those things are not owned by the people that you see on WIC. Can I say that again? A lot of those houses are rented. A lot of those cars are rented. So let's not worry about keeping up with Mr. and Mrs. Jones to measure how you're happy. You know what my dad used to say, Marsha? So many people worry about impressing people that don't like them anyway. I used to die when he said that. So it's all about how are you happy with yourself,
Yeah. Mary, you know what? I was growing up, I know we didn't have any money, but we were happy. I think we were happier and richer than some of the kids that had a lot of money because what we did with the little bit what we had, like you said, it's not measured by what you have. It's about what you do with it and how you do it. So they made sure, my grandparents, my mom, they made sure I had clothes, food. I had a happy childhood. We definitely weren't rich. We were not rich. So, and like you said, there are a lot of people. And the funny part, Mary, when I was in college, all the kids who were from affluent families like to come to my house doing breaks. I'm like, why y'all want to come here? Because they
Yeah.
felt at home. They seen, they seen that there was a lot of good stuff going on there. And it was just, they felt comfortable.
So, Marsha, I must say this is so funny. We have a comment, Marsha. You want to read the comment?
Oh, that's your Pontiac Meals on Wheels number right there.
Okay, good. Marsha, I want to let the audience know it looks like you have a spotlight with you and you flash it on and off. But I just want to let you guys know this morning, Marsha is on the road. I apologize because the light keep flashing. It's because of the sun coming into the vehicle. But that's okay. We're going to keep pushing through the show. And next
That's
time we know
God's
that
light.
that won't work. We're going to
It's
know that
God's
won't
light.
work. Yes,
Right.
yes, yes. So let's talk about, I want to talk about the ego, have you ever heard, Marsha, about the ego, the story about the ego?
Which one now?
The eagle, the bird, the eagle. The
I don't know.
eagle,
Tell me about it.
okay, let's talk about that. And I'm going to relate this to our life. Marsha, eagle soars very high. We're always told to soar high and go after big things in our life. You hear that all the time. But what we need to know is a little bit about the eagle and when we soar and we go high. Eagles know that it's okay, Marsha, to fly alone. Eagles do not fly in packs like birds. Have you ever saw birds flying in packs? We used to say when they get cold in the north, they're heading towards the south. See, what we have to understand, Marsha, is that sometimes we have to fly solo and be okay with that. And what happens when you fly solo, you learn to be stronger. You learn to do things out of your comfort zone, Marsha. You learn things that you didn't want to learn because you realize that sometime you're going to have to fly alone. And when because everybody is not going to support your dream or your mission. And everybody is not going to roll with you as long as it takes your mission to play out. So because of that, as your teammates or as your partners or even family drop off, you have to learn how to fly alone and soar high. When you fly alone, Marsha, it makes you stronger because you have to be stronger.
That's right.
It makes you work out of your comfort zone. It makes you face challenges that you were afraid to face. Instead of running from the challenge, I'm going to ask you guys to run towards your challenge.
Mary, you preaching this morning. You know that, right? You know you are
stop
preaching.
it.
Preach,
Marsha.
Preach, baby, preach.
I've gained a lot. I'm telling you, Marsha, I've gained a lot and I've lost a lot. I've learned a lot. Not because I wanted to, because I had to. So I say to the people out there that's experiencing these things through the pandemic, at one point, all of my businesses was shut down at one point. I have to be honest with you, Marsha. I had a pity party and I cried for many nights and many days, asking why. For many nights and many days. Once I stopped having my pity party, I moved in a different lane, Marsha. I moved in a different lane. And I said, Mary, one thing you can't do is stay stuck here. Can't do it, Marsha. I've worked too hard. I've worked too hard for everything that I've done. And let me tell you something about stepping into another lane and you having a faith and you believe in what you're doing. Since then, Marsha, I've met 3 people, London, California, Vegas, and Texas. Didn't know nothing about them, but they was following the SOS show. You never know who's watching you, Marsha. So you have to come with it and give your best. What do you think about that?
I so agree with that, Mary. I was like you. I was doing a lot of stuff before the pandemic hit, and then everything, with my foundation and everything, and then everything just kind of hit the fan. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So, but I educated myself. I went online, and I know you did a lot of that too. Started learning different things, and I had to do stuff by myself. Because like you say, everybody don't support your dream, Mary. I learned that the hard way. So you have to step out on faith, do stuff by yourself, get out of your comfort zone. I had to do all of that stuff. So I have no problem being an eagle because that eagle.
I like it. I like it.
I love being an eagle because in those packs sometimes, you know how they say like it's always maybe a rotten egg in the pack.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
Marsha,
So,
let's talk about storms because we all going to go through storms.
oh yes.
Let me tell you about an eagle, Marsha. An eagle loves storms because they love challenges. They fly high above the storm.
Okay.
Birds go look for shelter because
Shelter.
they don't want the they don't want the challenge, Marsha.
That's
So when
right.
you see rain, you see birds, they set in trees, they go look for shelter. Eagles fly towards
Yeah.
the storm. And when you fly towards the storm, guess what that does? That makes you stronger and make the eagle's wings stronger because you have
Yes.
to fly harder when you're flying through the storm. That's why I
Oh
wanted to
my.
relate storms to our life. We are going to have storms. What I've decided is that I'm not running from storms no more. I'm running towards the storm. I'm going to be stronger every day. I've decided I'm done running from the storms. I'm going to accept those storms. I'm running towards the storm. I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to keep educating myself and I won't give up. That's what I have to say about a storm.
Is that what you have to say, Mary? But let me
That's what
tell
I
you,
got to say about a storm this morning.
one of my favorite things I love to say is I love the rain. God gave us the rain so I can appreciate the sunshine. So we have to
Okay.
go through that storm so we can appreciate, the good things that's going to come out of it. So that's one of
Yeah.
my favorite things to say that I love to say is, God gave us the rain so we can appreciate the sunshine. Love that.
The next thing, Marsha, I want to talk about vision. Vision
Okay.
is so important. Vision, you have to keep focused on, keep your eyes on the prize, the vision. See, eagles' vision, when they are getting ready to hunt an animal, they stay focused on the visions. They stay focused on if I'm going after that, whatever that animal it may be that they're hunting, they stay
Yeah.
focused and they keep the vision. Too many times we fall off the vision and we're not focused because we're worried about so many things in the outside world that's going on. Let's talk about that. Worried about what people gonna say, listening to the naysayer. You have to stay focused and keep the vision. Stay focused on your goal. Sometimes you have to let all the outside interference stay just what I just said on the outside. And don't let them into your circle because what happens then, we fall off our focus and our vision. Now, that's what I have to say about visions. The Eagles are a bad mamma jamma, aren't they?
Girl, I have been educated about that eagle. You have made me see the eagle in a whole different light. That's for
The
sure.
Eagles something different. If you ever
That's for
heard
sure.
President Miss Obama used to say, "When they fly low, I fly high." She's talking about the
Yes.
eagle. That's what she means. Let me tell
Love
you
that.
something else about the eagle, Marsha, if you would
Go
give me an
ahead.
opportunity to do that.
You go, girl.
Eagles don't eat dead old things. An eagle will only eat fresh meat. An eagle goes down into the sea and grab a fish. Birds and crows will eat anything. They will eat garbage.
Yeah.
Anything that they can eat, that's what they do. I'm an eagle. I'm not eating garbage and I don't go for everything. I want all fresh in me and I want it all new. I'm going to tell you about this eagle this
I
morning.
love it.
This eagle will fly over a dead animal. I don't care how hungry the eagle will fly over anything that's dead. I'm trying to say this to you, Marsha. Let's stop looking back and look forward, whatever is going on in your life. My pastor used to say all the time, Pastor Jackson from the Wings of Love, no need to look in the rear view mirror because we going forward. That's why in your vehicle, the windshield is so large, so you can have a clear
Yes.
vision. Your rear mirrors are small, aren't they?
They
They're
are.
not
They
as
are.
large as your windshield. We moving forward, so we have to always remember that. Now, before we get out of here today, we're going to talk about very, very serious that Marsha. We have to train hard, work hard, study
Okay.
hard. You have to always continue
Yes.
Always educate yourself, Marsha. And we know degrees. I have 3 degrees, Marsha. We know degrees don't mean nothing if you don't have common sense. Let's talk about that. See, I don't care how many letters you have behind your name. We still have to continue to get education, continue to learn about things. And when we learn, Marsha, we try to teach it to other people.
Yes.
Everybody not going to listen, and that's okay. But you have 1% that will, Marsha. Do you know 1% control everything in this world? The money, the businesses, and you know that 1% definitely don't look like you and I. So it's time for us to change that, Marsha. And if we don't see it in our lifetime, I say this all the time when I pray, Lord, I might not see it in my lifetime, a change when it comes to Black people and the situation that we dealing with. But guess what? I know that I would do everything that I can where my grandchildren will live in a different world and see the change. Because, Marsha, it's not about me anymore. Yep. It's not about me. It's about how many things we can change before we leave this world. And what motivates me, you always have to have a why. I'm very clear on my why because I see my grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? And I see my children and I watch the news. I see my nephews. I see my cousins and I see the things that's happening. But let's come together and see what we can change so they can live a better life. That's part of the legacy. When I talk about legacy and generational wealth, it's just not about money. See, some people get it twisted. When you say leave a legacy and leave generational wealth, it's not just about the dollar sign. Because when you leave things that's changed the world, you instill something into a child that can change their life. That's leaving a legacy. See, legacy is something that you leave when you're dead and gone, and it's not just about the money. So I'm going to end this show today, and I'm going to let anybody know that's listening, stay focused, have a clear vision, and do not measure your success by someone else's success. And definitely don't measure it by money, houses, cars, and clothing. And I'll close out and let you give a word to our audience today.
I want everybody to know that I think you should live by example. Mary, I was just watching the tribute to Chadwick Boseman, and it was so beautiful. And the life he lived and what he did and just the impact that he left on the world. So think about that. What kind of impact what do you want your eulogy to be? Think about that. What do you want your eulogy to be? That's all I got to say about that. And I always think about that.
Yes, amazing. And I thank you again for joining me on the SOS Show Live with Mary Evans. And remember, SOS stands for help. SOS stands for share our story. And it's a platform for Black people to share their story, raw and uncut. Have a great day.
Yes. Bye-bye. I know they gon' remember.